Score is now 1-0, and the way this works now is Viper will get to choose the next map. Wait, no. I lied. It will not be Viper. It will be Code that gets to choose the next map. And he gets to choose the next Civ. And the Civ is always mirrored in this tournament, just so there's no imbalances.
Happy 11 months T90. Keep the YouTube content coming.
Thank you, Justring Fellow, for the 11 months. I will keep it up. Thank you, Pastor Vic, for the 5 months. People in the game room are asking about Jidba. Jidba is not a huge fan of the new Civs, which is apparently why he didn't play. Apogee, thank you for a year and a half. Thank you, Omni Gaming, Zordux, Danfire, Desperdare. Kobe also sponsored the $5 prize pool for the DM show match between MBL and I. Glad I could get the win.
17 months of mostly watching YouTube only, smiley face.
Hey Roadster, don't stress it, man. Thank you for the 17. Conspiracy. That's a really creative name. He spelled conspiracy, like Khan, like Genghis Khan. That's nice. Conspiracy. Yeah, that was a cool video, man. I think I might be doing that more often. I'm still experimenting, and I always do, but I decided to upload the YouTube video during the stream. What did Viper pick? Oh, he picked Mayans! Okay. So, welcome everybody. Viper picked Dunes for the next... what am I talking about? Code picked Dunes for the next map. Oh, and he's going for a market strategy. Watch the gold count. See this? This is a popular deathmatch strategy where you build a market at the start and you sell excess wood and you sell excess food for gold. And in a Mayans War, you see a lot of Eagle Warriors. Oh, Viper! Oh, he kills the villager. That's a good start for Viper. That number at the bottom right is how many villagers are lost, and that's important at the start. So Viper has more now. His start was also better, because it's 7-5 in total vills. Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. Like I said in the previous game, the DM-only players need to take advantage over Viper at the start. If they fail at the start, then good luck. And Viper is so far ahead now. Look at the number of production buildings, and look at the number of villagers lost. Another villager has gone down. This is snowballing out of control. Wow! Code has lost 5 villagers. It's 4-10. In deathmatch, that should be game over. 3 minutes in, that should be game over. You might not see it in the total population now, but look how Viper's building up with all of his extra vills. And look at Code's base. So, it's not GG enough for... Oh my god, another villager died. 10 villagers have died! He has 1 villager! He is this guy right here. 1 villager. Okay, that's GG enough where you could call it now. What I was going to say is Viper's going to take so many other advantages by taking the map control that leads to a very easy victory for him later on. But it's best of 9. Deathmatch games can be very fast. The previous one wasn't. For a while there, I was about to make the joke. What was it? 7-2? I'm not the Brazil joke. We've graduated to the Tottenham Hotspur joke because they got wrecked by Bayern Munich. But now it's 18-4 with the eco, so I can't make that joke anymore. So plumed archers have a bonus versus infantry, so if you get enough plumes with eagles, it's very good. Also, Viper's making some heavy scorpions. I mean, Code will try and build up castles, he'll try and catch up, but the honest truth is he's too far behind right now. He does have an eagle patrolling on this gold, and eagles there as well. I do like that. But Viper will have all 5 relics at minute 8. He's about to snag that 5th relic right now. That on top of the fact that he now has 160 population and it is only 84 population for Code. This is why I said I don't think I'll be uploading all the DM games to YouTube. Because, well, this can happen a lot. Okay, Viper has made one small mistake and he has not sent these Plumed Archers to the main fight. And of course, it ends up helping him. It's like he thought about that. Okay, so a big fight's about to happen. Viper has 150 military, and it is 125 for Code. Oh my goodness! The Scorpions weren't in the best position for Viper. He does have the hill. His Eagles also weren't fighting half the time. So initially, much better fight for Code. He needs it to be a better fight entirely. Remember, Code will have more gold to make Eagles, and that's maybe the one way that he'll be able to win this game. Viper, I don't love his current position on this hill. I really don't, but the total military number is still higher for him. The eco number is way higher for him. So this is kind of a one-and-done thing for Code. If he kills Viper now, that is his only chance, is if he kills Viper now. He has to. And Viper, knowing that, will just snipe the Trebs. And now it's 80 population versus 150 again. Now the Plumes are going to be the focus because Plumes are very cheap. Viper just needs enough Eagles in there to snipe the siege. I think this game is over. I think this game is very, very over. Viper has 77 vills versus 17 from Code. Look at the gold per minute. Viper's mainly sending villagers to gold right now. I don't think Code has enough rams. He doesn't have enough Treb follow-up to kill the castles, so it's kind of just a matter of time. Also, the way Viper had that onager position was really wise. Had a few more hits coming in on the rams. It's a lot of siege rams coming forward for Code, but he doesn't have anything to support it now. He's out of resources. He has 2 eagles and 4 rams queued up. Viper will have a lot more where that came from. So this was kind of, when MBL played me before this set, this is why deathmatch can be really complicated if you don't have a start practiced. I'm not implying that Code doesn't have a start practiced, because obviously he does, but the start is so crucial. And Code calls it GG. So Viper, he wins game 2 a lot faster than game 1, 14 minutes and 19 seconds. And now we'll move on to game 3. And Viper gets to pick his map, and he gets to pick the mirror civilization that he wants. So if Code was going to have an advantage because he picked the civ, and because he maybe had a strategy practiced, this is kind of a bad sign for him, right? Because he didn't get the win with the small advantage there. And now Viper gets to pick. Now, as for what he will pick, I'm not sure. Remember, it will still be a mirror matchup. There's the KD, and then here was the eco. This all stems from the lack of villagers, and the amount of military that Viper was able to produce stemmed from the villager snipes in the beginning. 5 relics collected, 7 castles versus 1. That was over at the start. Oh. I almost gave Viper 3 on the scoreboard. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. So, just a reminder, the way this tournament is set up is there's a winner's bracket and there's a loser's bracket. So I'll bring up the bracket now because many of you probably missed it. This is the winner's bracket. Code, he moved all the way up to here with 4-1 victories. Viper had a 4-0 victory and then 4-1, 4-1. Whoever loses this goes here to play the winner of True and Leash. And then the winner of that game moves on to face whoever wins what we're doing right now. So let's say Viper does win this. I think it's a pretty solid guess right now because he's up 2 games and he's Viper. If Viper does win this, he'll face the winner of this game right here. So the plan for my casting, I might cast this today if you guys are interested. That will be after this one here. But I will probably, I think I might have to skip this tomorrow actually because of my schedule, and then I'll cast this set, which would be the grand final. Oh wait, you can't see the lower bracket? Oh, my bad. Here. Let me just zoom out. I had to show you guys something yesterday. We'll fix that for next time. The next game is about to launch. Okay, so the next game, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's going to be a Saracens War. What would Viper be comfortable with? I don't know. He could pick any civ that's not upcoming. Mongols, Huns, Franks, and Khmer are all upcoming. You can pick any other civ. You know what I want to see is the Vietnamese War. It ends up being really stupid in Rats and Archers v Rats and Archers, but... Oh, Britons. Wow, okay. So it is Britons on Prairie. Prairie, you start with 2 scouts. A Viper with a barrack, 3 barrack, and 4 archer range opening. And then you have 2 barrack and 4 archer range opening for Code. But remember the vills in the previous game, right? You have to keep those villagers alive. I'm going to focus on Code because he struggled with this, and this would be more difficult for him on a map like Prairie. And he has weathered the storm. Well played. Well played. Good garrisons. Viper also did just fine doing the same thing. So Viper had weak vills, Code has weak vills, but I think the starts will be similar now. So you'll see Halbs, you'll see Champions, you will see Arbalest. And then eventually possibly Longbows, maybe some Rams, Onagers, and maybe the Werewolf Trebuchets. I am personally rooting for Code because I know he's a fantastic DMer, and I want to see this set go on for longer. I think Game 1 he showed us how close the games can be, but in Game 1 Viper reminded us how good he is. And Game 2 is just all about the start. But right now it's even. Code actually has 1 more villager than Viper, and that's probably because he didn't get housed. The Britain Wars develop a lot slower than many other matchups because the units are so slow. But Viper did run around to snipe vills. Or attempt to. See this? Doink! Oh! Oh! He got one. Alright, good play from Viper there. So Prairie's a very open map as well. Woodline control will be important. Viper has woodlines around him here, and then you have Code. I guess Code's woodlines are more on the back, which is nice. Viper does have some back options as well, though. You see the patrols around the outer resources from both players? There's lots of yellow on the sides of the map. And that's how you should play in Age of Empires, but that's how Viper always plays as well. He never goes all-in aggression. He always goes for the safe options to get some small leads, which snowballs into a victory. Now you hear the monks coming out for both players. Both players are looking to snag these relics. Yeah, see, there's Viper's monk, and he has a lot of arbs and even champions running that way. So these things are very important. See this? If that arb can snipe, oh boy! Nope. The Arb doesn't snipe the monk. Code's monk will be behind. 100 population for Viper. It's 100 for Code. Viper has slightly more military, actually, and he's slightly more eco, but no huge differences there. But Viper will get these 2 relics. And he'll get this relic, so he'll have at least 3. Now the Rams are coming. Now, if you want to see a fight that's ridiculous, watch this. Since Arbalests are so weak, against Rams. The players will face off Ram v Ram. It's a pretty random fight. Ha. Ha ha. I don't like this for Code. I feel like Viper had more Rams. This castle will get denied. This castle and this area is being denied by Viper. Viper definitely has more control. He'll even kill the castle if Code's not careful. Okay, now it's a bit of a worry for Viper as Rams aren't in front of his arbs. There we go. See, this is much better. Let the Rams soak up the arrow fire and then patrol in with both of them. Both the Rams and your arbs and your longbows and now onagers for Viper. This could help. Normally you'd use the onagers after the Rams. It's not even worth it to try and use the onagers after the arbs because that happens. Code's chasing this down. I don't think Brit and Cavalier are going to be enough to clean that up, though. Wild stuff. More villagers for Viper, more military for Viper, a whole lot more control for Viper. It's amazing. It's amazing. It really is. It's the perfect balance of controlling the additional resources, macroing, microing. I'm more impressed with Viper's DM play than I am with his RM play because he doesn't play DM much, you know? I really felt like oh wow, that was these trebuchet shots could be really nice. There you go, Code. This is good for Code all of a sudden. I really felt like True v Viper would be an amazing finals. True, of course, is waiting to face the loser of this for his chance at the finals. That's not the first time that I've complimented Viper's play and then he's fallen off. He didn't make any trebuchets when he had the lead, did he? Oh, no, 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 don't lose your trebs to one Captain Ram! He might be okay. Oh, that's sloppy. That's sloppy, Code. Viper's making light cav. He needs to get these trebs out of here. The Warwolf treb shots were huge. Viper's also raiding with the light cav currently. Can Viper hold in the center, guys? He needs more numbers. He's losing ground.
What I'm getting from this tourney is that RM players are better at DM than DM players.
More food, more wood in the bank for Code. The stone count's similar. Viper's banking up more gold, but he's not using the gold. He needs more Rams. Okay, here we go. Now he has the Rams in front. Keep complimenting Viper so we have a closer series. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, Viper's so good. His micro's amazing. His quick walls. It's not working. It's not working. This is why I use the word stupid when I talk about Britain Wars. Because it's just all about the Rams in front. And there's so little mobility, so you won't see too many raids. I do like this from Viper, though, to be building up on the left again. We'll probably make some trebs there. Code made a mistake in game 1 by building his castles too late. He's built every castle he can afford now. And they're kind of more central. They're not securing the map like Viper's castle. Viper's castle's here and Viper's castle is here. But you have to say Viper gained that position with military. So he's not going to out and out win the game with one big fight like some players will try and do in many stages. But he likes to gain those small advantages and snowballs that into a victory. And that's what he's been able to do now. He has 4 relics versus the 1 of Code. There's always this feeling of inevitability when casting Viper, and more so in DM. Definitely more so in Deathmatch. See, now it's fairly obvious, right? Code has to send everything he has to the center. And Viper will just push the left, and then Code will, well, deal with the left, and Viper will push the center again. I mean, it's 85 military versus 56. I think this game is over. Code has 130 eco units. That's cool and all, but he can't take his golds. And he's losing all the important positions on the map. Even one longbow here. One longbow on the stone. A Trev over here to go after this castle. The GG's called. This is just impressive, man. Code is a beastly player. Code is an amazing player. Viper is up 3 games against him. So the next game is a set game. I guess I'll show you the achievements. Why not? The game was quick. We have time for the achievements. KD was pretty close, but Viper took the map advantages and he had the eco lead. Timeline shows that as well. You see a big spike in military for Code, but this was where Viper had controlled those other areas and he expanded his economy properly. But anywho, so the next map is Ghost Lake, and it is a Khmer War. It's a best of 9. So there's plenty of time for a comeback, but the score is now 3-0 for Viper. So yeah, I feel like in RM there's a bit more variety. RM's more strategy based. There's also a lot more RNG involved. Your boars can be forward. You can have awkward hills to deal with. So just because of how RM plays out, even though Viper is dominant in RM and the best RM player, Viper has shown more vulnerabilities in RM because of those factors, and also because, I think, of the competition. The RM scene is stronger than it has ever been. But man, in DM, he's looking really freaking good. It's worth noting Viper did not play in the first Deathmatch World Cup when Quendi True won. There's a lot of RM players who are good at it, though. So just looking through some of the names who have participated, Tato was the 8th seed in this tournament. You had Tato, Nikov, Vinchester, Rubenstock, Lan, Miguel. So if you're good at RM, you're going to be good at DM, but Viper is very, very good. The loser of this round will play against the winner between True and Leash. Not necessarily True. Did I say something otherwise, Sean? Yeah, what Sean said is correct. There's a later on today, Leash and True play. The winner of that plays the loser of this. So what are your, if this is the first time you've seen it, what are your general thoughts on DM? Do you have thoughts and opinions on it? I can appreciate it. I just don't love it as much. It's cool for now, right? Once the tournament's over, we'll go back to RM. That's cool. This is the first DM tournament in like 2 years. So it's not like this happens all the time. Yeah, it's a nice change of pace. It is quite literally a change of pace. Oracle says DM sucks. All right. Well, then I won't DM you. That's fine.
Much love.
Thank you, Super Juba, for 7 months. Thank you, Cecile, for 9 months. He said, what I'm getting from this tournament is that RM players are better at DM than DM players. I mean, so far in this series, yes, that is the case. So you know how we have an RM player, a player we watch a lot, playing DM right now? What if we grabbed some legends and just had them play DM? Blue Coffee versus Fat Slob. Walls are allowed. Start with 5,000 stone, Black Forest. See what happens. Seriously, what would happen? Pretty sure a lot of walls would happen. Okay, so it's a Khmer War. Oh, and it's actually a lot easier to start with Khmer because you can hide inside the houses. Forgot about that. That was a nifty move from Viper. So if you have ever wanted to see the strength of Khmer, you're about to see it now. We'll have the Elephantos And the scorpions, boys and girls. Strongest elephants in the game, or sorry, strongest battle elephants in the game. Look at that guy go. Look at him. He's ready to poke. That's the real pointy boy. And then scorpions. The scorpions are always seen in games where elephants feature. But Chimera scorpions end up being the most important unit once you get enough of them. But for now, it's still about Vil snipes and it's still about building out. And just keep an eye on the control that players get over the extra golds. Like Viper has... What kind of hacks is this? Are there extra golds here for code? What kind of map is this? Why does Viper have both neutral golds right behind his base? I feel like that's really imbalanced. There's no extra gold whatsoever for code. Well, that sucks. It's already difficult enough to beat Viper, and then he gets both golds there. Like, a castle here and a castle here, and he gets both the golds. Ouch. And he has a cliff there to protect the other golds in the back. I mean, this only becomes a complaint because we know Viper's going to utilize those, right? There are situations where someone might have those and throw the game away, but... Ouch. Okay. Where's that elephant sound coming from? Oh, there it is. I couldn't see him. This is Ghost Lake. Sorry that it looks like Sandy Lake. I have the no snow mod on because I'm not a degenerate like you guys out there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It actually hurts my eyes. So that's why I don't do it. $18 Vils for Viper and 12 for Code. So Code has had some issues. He did lose 2 Vils. Viper lost 1, but it's just getting housed, how often you're producing. Like right now, he's housed badly. That'll kill you in DM. Two castles for Viper right up on this hill. My body is ready. My body is so ready. I love scorpions in this. Deathmatch, making Chimera relevant. That's what we have Deathmatch to thank. That's what we have, why can't I speak? Why are sentences difficult for me? You know what I mean, alright? A lot of building out for Viper. He has 30 more military, and a lot of it is over here. Guess he sees the golds. Remember, Deathmatch is played on Explored, so it's easy for players to know where the extra golds are. I just feel bad for Code. You're 3 games down. Viper's already been playing better, and then he gets those extra golds, which might not end up mattering at all, but certainly matters with how you build up and how you choose to take engagements. Oh my god. As a caster, this is really difficult to judge. All I can say is that Viper has a lot more elephants. He has a lot more elephants here. He still has the elephants back here. Now for Code, it's mainly scorpions on the front, which isn't what you want. You need a meat shield in front of those scorpions. And I imagine Viper will now follow this up with some siege to kill the castle that Code has built on the hill. Viper does have 3 relics, so keep that in mind. 5 castles versus the 3 castles from Code. This is just... it's honestly ridiculous, though. Chimera is such a meme civ. Watch how quickly these elephants die. Strongest battle elephants in the game, but look what the scorpions do. This is unreal. Now imagine a bombard cannon shot there. Oh, Viper. Oh, he had one. Someone said, where did Code's wood go? Well, he's probably not been chopping any. He's getting 20 wood per minute right now. Viper has 5 times the amount of wood income. And so you run out of resources if you commit to a certain unit. So, you know, full commitment to scorpions means less wood. He made rams as well. So it's about the micro, it's about the production, but then you have to macro. And Viper's castling to secure both those extra golds, which will help him in that aspect, and then he still has more wood. So, KD's similar, but late game, I like Viper's position more. We said this before. This time, he did a decent job raiding, but more than anything, I think it's just those golds being there. And the fact that he got some relics. Man, and both players have a hill. This hill was always going to be important for Viper, and this hill was always going to be important for Code, but he's lost that hill now. And so to fall back this far into your base is such a bad sign, and now Viper's even running in with 3 elephants to raid. It looks like another victory for Viper. I mean, if Code was in Viper's position, I would expect Viper to be able to take an engagement to push this back. But considering the score, and considering the advantage Viper has, I like his position a whole lot more right now. Okay, here's a big fight. The Viper has those bombard cannons in here, guys. Oh, and the bombard cannons could flatten the scorpions, possibly? Not really. That wasn't all that good for Viper. It was not good for Viper at all. And Code will hold. He still will lose this castle. But he'll kill the scorpions, he'll kill the trebs, and he will take the population lead for a brief moment. Nice work. But can he hit Viper before Viper adds more to his force? He has a lot of gold. 4,000 gold. Light on wood. Light on food. Producing only villagers now while Viper's making more scorpions and more elephants. This is good. This is good stuff. There's no trebs behind this though, guys. Oh, and that bomber cannon from Viper. Oof. That bomber cannon's doing work. Yeah, Viper holds. Viper holds for now. Wow, did those rams push in even further and kill 2 more buildings? What were those, siege workshops? 3 siege workshops? I knew they'd kill the castle, but that's a surprise. Alright, so I just want to look at the economies. See, we only look at the fights because we're casting the game. We have the bird's eye view. But look at the eco, yeah. And I was just going to say, Code doesn't have the farm space, and Code just calls the GG. I think he realizes he's dead. He's been out macroed yet again, and Viper wins and is up 4 games to 0 now in this winner's bracket final. Viper wins the next game. He wins the winner's bracket final, and he goes on to the grand final, which will be tomorrow. I'm hoping Code can get some wins, but it would be one hell of a sweep now. One hell of a reverse sweep, sorry, if he were to come back in this. Man, after seeing game 1, I was really hopeful this would go to 7 or 8 games. The next game will be Gold Rush and a Frank War. Nice. Franks are amazing in DM. I love watching Franks in DM. Another one of those matchups that could be very short or could be extremely long normally. I highly doubt the game will go on for all that long because it is Gold Rush and you will need the gold in the center, but we'll see. Iron Badger. First off, a villager rush with Spanish in deathmatch would be suicide. But also you have to remember the settings are set. So it's always mirror matchups. So it would have to be a Spanish war within the settings for that to happen. Even Viper would lose if he tried that. So if you were a betting man, who would you bet on, chat? Well, and welcome, man. I checked out some of your Rust content, by the way. You've been hanging out around my channel for a while, and I had yet to follow you and check out your content, but finally did after the host the other night. I had no clue what was going on. Seriously, I had no clue what was going on. I like your little saying, though. You're like, sup, gamers. Half of my viewers don't even play the game. They're just like, sup, viewers. Sup, chat.
Nice.
Congratulations on the viewership, though, man. That's pretty wild. I cannot imagine a world in which I would upload a video and have 1 million views on it every time. That's crazy. I guess if I did only Force Nothing content, maybe that would work. Demonator, thank you for the year. Okay, so keep in mind that Franks have 3 things, well, four talking points. First off, paladins. Their stables produce quickly. So the reason this game could end quickly is because the paladins produce and they snipe vills. So you have to keep your vills alive, you have to produce paladins, and then once paladins become common, you'll see a switch into halberdiers. Once halberdiers become very common, you'll actually see a switch into throwing axemen in a Frank war. So that's the trio of units, and then the 4th thing is that, remember, castles are very cheap in a Franks war, so you'll see a lot of them. And that gold is important in the center. I don't have time to talk about things in a normal way with DM. I have to say it before the game starts. So here we are, Franks war. Again, all about the start. Here's Viper, starting off with stables, and you see the same from Code. If Viper wins this, it's probably the fastest best of 9 you will ever see. Not ever. I guess a couple of the games were pretty long. Yeah, so what you need to do is you need to garrison that Vil. Yep, garrison, and then you're fine. And then Viper probably did the same. It's really hard to do starts when there's Hussars, but Franks don't get Hussars, so they're actually weaker. Pretty easy to dodge there. But notice how they're just passing each other. It would be very stupid to chase these units all the way back to your base. So you're quite literally just passing. And now paladins can snipe vills much faster. Oh, wow. Viper went back for that Vil. He gets 1, he gets 2. But he also lost 2 at his base. Thanks to Capture Age, we can see that on the bottom right. Oh, God. And 2 more villagers went down for Code. Oh, Code lost a total of 6 villagers. This could be the series. Unless... Oh, no! Viper's villagers are all building that castle. Okay, so he lost 2 more. DM is wild. I don't like what I'm seeing at Code's base, though. 8 total villager losses. He has 4 total. Viper has 8 total. And now he has a castle to secure his base a little bit more. So with more villagers means more buildings for Viper. The production building's actually shown on the bottom right. So maybe Viper hasn't built as much and Code will be fine. We'll see, we'll see. It's possible Code went for barracks too soon. There's actual build orders. Much like regular Age of Empires having build orders with going to wood and going to food and such. There's actual builds as well for DM. So Franks War is normally a combination of stables and barracks. As for the timing on it, I think it very much depends on what you're trying to do. But you'll notice, most of the gold in this map is in the center. And Viper, with that big military lead, went right to the center with villagers to place a castle. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean he wins the game. There's still going to be gold here and here for Code to collect, but everything is going to be in harm's way now. Code just kind of sat there, waiting for Viper to arrive, and Viper's been building the castle. And I heard 2 more villagers die, so... Viper has killed a whole lot more, and now he has a great position. If you look at the population, the game is even. If you look at the position, Viper has a much, much better position. Now also, the Vil counts, Viper's building TCs, and he'll expand, he's getting relics. There's so many things that these guys need to do at the same time. It's so difficult to balance all those things. Viper's made it look very easy today. This is a huge engagement, and there's over 20,000 HP in units right here in front of us, guys. Code has more, Now, if he wins this fight with mainly Paladin, he could take the castles down, and he could possibly win the game, but as I say that, no, he still has more Paladins. Viper needs more helps here. There's Trebs behind this for Code. Oh, this is so close. I think Code can get access to the center. He denied this castle. He'll kill all Viper's Trebs. He will kill Viper's castle. Viper might have more villagers, but he won't have access to gold at this rate. Wow, that was crazy. Now Code is pretty much out of gold, though. And so he needs town centers on his gold. He needs to produce villagers to get to gold. See how Viper's been mining gold? He's even building a TC here, which I don't really agree with. That could be the game. I mean, Viper has fallen way behind, and both players are out of res. It's just that Viper's out of res. He has a few more villagers, but he needs an answer to 50 paladins. Code's out of res, but his paladins are still going to do work at this point. Normally between 10 and 13 minutes is where both players just drop off with production, and that's when you want to have a position advantage. Look at the populations, 62 to 55. It's pretty ridiculous, man. From 200 population to 60 population. Only deathmatch, man. I just don't know if Viper's macro is good enough. Oh, he's getting raided as well. Viper calls it. If Viper's macro is not good enough to come back into this game. I thought once Viper had the hill, he had the game. You know what it was, though? There's one thing I want to point out. And I think about these things, but I don't have time to talk about them. Alright? So, remember Viper had a vill lead. Let's say he had 5 more villagers. What did he do in the center? He used like 5 to 6 villagers to build a castle. So while he was building the castle, he actually built 2 there.
Thanks as always.
His villager advantage.
Smile, smile.
His villager advantage was focused on building 2 buildings just for position. Whereas Code, he was, and this is a theory of mine because now I'm looking at the amount of stables and it doesn't seem like it's that much more. But maybe he was building regular production buildings, and that's why he could afford to get the numbers out faster than Viper. I mean, if Viper had 50 more halbs there on top of the hill when the fight was taken, he would have won the fight. He just didn't have the numbers. Thinking maybe he didn't have the numbers because he went to the center a little bit too early. Heavy Scorpions also didn't pay off for Viper. I don't think the position was right for them. They probably needed to be behind his army. The Code just did it with pure Paladin, so. But Code gets the win, and the reverse sweep is on. It's so ridiculous, though, how it went from 200 population to 50. That is as close as a pro game will get to a low-level noob game. How many people play this game? You build up one army, and then after you lose the army, you need to wait another hour to build up another army. Like, that's exactly what happened there, except it was 2 of the best deathmatch players in the world. That's funny. T90, maybe Viper gifted a win to the Code so that Code doesn't feel too bad. Dude, you have no idea how much those comments trigger me. You have a guy who's playing against the best player in the world, and he gets a completely normal victory. Like, he earned that victory. And it's so disrespectful to people who earn wins. It bothers me so much. We have so few high-level players, so when I see those comments, it burns, it hurts. It's alright. It's not a big deal. Ozzy, thank you for the 4 months. Thank you, Old AKS, for the Prime sub. Listen, the last thing I want is for any top player to stop playing this game, alright? That's the last thing I want, so I always want to encourage people to play, credit them for victories when it's due. That's all I'm saying. That's not really a big deal, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. In Hidden Cup 2, you remember, Okay, this is a spoiler, but if you didn't see Hidden Cup 2 and it was 6 months ago at this point, I can't avoid spoilers. Remember, Max was up 3-1 and Viper came back. And when people had the balls to say 2 minutes after that huge event and one of the best finals ever, that Viper just let Max get ahead so he can come back, I was doing other things at the time, but you have no idea how much that bothered me. Like, the tilt level that I reached when I saw those comments after Hidden Cup 2 finals completed, was off the charts. Maybe, yeah, that's true. Maybe Code gifted Viper 4 wins just so Viper's reputation doesn't get damaged. Oh, that's true. You know what? I think that makes sense. We'll have to ask Code about that afterwards. Viper doesn't play a lot of deathmatch, so Code needed to give him a chance. That's probably it. So the next game is okay, the losing player picks a mirror civilization and a map. So that means Code gets to pick any of the maps from the map pack, and he picks a civ we haven't seen yet and will not see upcoming, and a mirror matchup. So Huns and Mongols are on the way. We already saw Franks, Khmer, Mayans. I seem to forget already. What was game number 1? Game number 1 was, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Game's going to launch now. We saw Slavs in game 1, and the other game was Britons, yes. So Saracens are actually pretty fun. I feel like Code is going to pick one of the older civilizations because he's been playing deathmatch for 10 plus years. I think he'll be more comfortable with a non-expansion civ. But I have no way of knowing really. Oh, Malians. Okay, well, I was wrong. And Code picked Gold Rush again. So fun fact for you guys. Viper has only lost a few games in this tournament, and every single game that he has lost on has been on Gold Rush. That's interesting. It's also interesting because I can think of some regular RM tournaments where Viper has also lost on Gold Rush. Maybe this is the anti-Viper map. Alright, neither player sniped a villager with their starting light cav. Malians can do a lot, but I imagine they'll start off with camels. You wouldn't want to start with Cavalier, and that's simply because the camel counter exists for your opponent. Now, this is Code. Code is picking this because he's losing in the series. It's not loser of the previous game, it's loser of the series. Now, the layout on this Gold Rush is interesting. They're kind of to the side. They're really close together, and the gold is to the right of them. That's different than the previous game. Camels, camels, camels. A few Cavalier mixed in. So far, Code lost 1 villager. I think Viper's about to... Oh, how did Viper's Vill survive that? Now, surely that Vill will die. Yeah, okay, he loses the Vill. He did complete the market, though. Oh, and Code also built a market earlier, so a strategy on Deathmatch is to build a market and sell excess food and sell excess wood for gold. And that's why Code's gold count is so much higher, actually. So he marketed before Viper did. Dude, noob, you didn't offend me. You didn't offend me, and when I say I get tilted, it's not like a serious tilt, alright? But you know me, I'm gonna be honest about how I feel. I just don't... It does bother me when I see those comments because there's so many players who play this game at a really good level, and I just feel like it's disrespectful towards them, that's all. So Code has a huge lead. Code has a huge lead, and all that extra gold is helping him now. Viper will fall behind in villagers. He'll have a huge doubt castle here. Could end up being another doubt castle here. He tries to quick wall with outposts because you can't wall in this. And that could be the game. Just like that, Code goes from being down 4 games to being behind 2 games. I mean, that is if he finishes this off, but it seems like he has a pretty clear lead now. 100 population to 40. This is over. That was fast. And Viper, every game Viper has lost in this tournament has been on Gold Rush. He lost 2 games in the earlier rounds. He won 4-0 versus Jordan, 4-1 versus Tato, 4-1 versus Nilly, and I think all the games that he lost were Gold Rush. And then he lost Gold Rush in the previous game. Code chose it for this game. I'm surprised that's allowed, actually, but I'm not sure about the map settings. Yeah, it's just like the previous one where he's trying to add more vills with the TCs, but he's gonna get stomped. It's 80 military to 20. He has no chance. Game over. That was very quick. Okay. Malian TCs with their unique tech shoot arrows, even when they're not garrisons, which is pretty cool. I mean, Viper's TCs are garrisons, but still. I always forget about that tech until it's deathmatch, because no one ever researches it in RM. Come on, Code, surely you've got this now. Look at this. It's insane. What just happened? Code! He's now out of gold. And Viper has a slight Vill lead. How is this game not over, man? How is this game not over? I know that Code was taking pretty inefficient fights, or it looked like inefficient fights here, but I figured with 60 more military he'd be fine. I mean, technically, he's still way better off because he has access to the gold in the center. But now Viper has more military. It's mainly Camel and Pikes, though. And Code is making Gebetto. So do we freak out now about Viper having 50 more pop, or do we just wait and see? Because we were freaking out when Code had more pop. I certainly think the pop matters more now, because this is sustainable population. It's all population that Viper's getting from his economy, not from resources that he was given at the start. Oh my god, and he's raiding here! And Code has not reacted to it. No! No! Code, why did you let Viper come back into the game, man? You're not that much better than him. Oh, God. I mean, it's still not over because Gebettos can be amazing in this situation. Can be really good. But Viper will probably just make some of his own, right? Normally, I'd blame myself for jinxing Code, but I'm going to blame Dave for this one because Dave came into the chat and said, God, it's so over. So instead of T90 jinx, it's definitely Dave jinx. 9 villagers more for Viper. It's not extreme lead. He has 3 relics, and this monk will bring back the 4th. It's a bit of a Treb war here. Remember, Viper does not have access to the gold in the center, guys. So for that reason, Code is doing okay. Now, Viper, I think, needs some siege onagers. Because versus this many Gebetto, Camels will not do well, Pikemen will not do well. Oh, Code, repair the trap, Code, repair it! Ah! Whoa, there was a villager there. That was like a jack-in-the-box, I didn't see her. Pikeman raiding? Okay, that's unique. And then stables for Viper on the left. Let's look at the farm economies for a second. Viper has a total of 71 farms. Code has 35. So the food eco is way better for Viper, which means he can afford to raid, and he continues to use his own trebs and camels to snipe trebs from Code. Code still can't kill Viper's castle, and he loses one of his own. Also, Viper will probably use his Gebettos versus the Treb. Ooh. Wow. Actually, he's using his Trebs on the Gebettos here. DM is so weird. It is so unique, man. Nice snipe from Code on the Trebs. And then his Bombard Cannon dies. So it ends up being more costly for him. And Viper will continue this push now. He has enough stone for more castles. He'll place a castle here. Slowly but surely, Viper is pushing towards the center gold area. And remember, he has all 5 relics now. $120 population for both. The swings in this game. But I guess this is the risk of going only Gebetto. You'll still lose your Trebs to Cavalier. Viper's running in and out, and you can't engage the castles and the Trebs easily with them. The Gebettos have more of a defensive option, right? Viper has done such a good job with his repairs. Has done such a good job with his positions of castles and siege. And now he's placing another castle here. Actually, that's risky because there's a Treb there. But oh, the micro from Code! He needs this to work for him. Oh, he lost half of his Gebettos. He splits, he kills. But he loses his castle. Viper will take this gold away from Code. The Trebs are doing amazing work. Are these Hun Trebs? Do they have 100% accuracy? Are they Britain Trebs? Every time he's connecting with an Onager or a Treb from Code. Now Code's realizing, oh, I could use some form of melee to run in here. But is it too late now? Right now I think Viper will make some of his own Gebettos. Just Gebetto Camel. Kill castle after castle after castle. What a comeback from Viper. But I think this one could also fall under the category of a throw from Code as well, after having such a huge lead. I think he thought the game was over. I think we all thought the game was over. We're all being honest with ourselves. And so he figured, I could fight this, it's over. But maybe he should have pulled back a little bit. Maybe he should have raided the sides instead of focusing right here, because he was focused here, and Viper had town centers in the back. He had 80 military, Viper had 20. So hindsight's 20/20, but I think had he sent units to the TCs and mopped that up, then and continued to expand to the center, then Viper would have had no chance from there. I thought the game was over. That's a mix of Viper playing really well, but Code also throwing from a winning position. Does anyone remember what the population was? What was the population difference? Viper had 40? Was it 40 to 100? Or was it 40 to 120 or something? Yeah, 130. Yeah, so Viper was making only pikemen because he was out of gold at that point. So I think Code just needed to raid the economy from Viper a bit more. He had the position, actually. I'm going to go back in here and talk about this a bit more since that was the final game. He had the position he wanted, because he had the castle in the center. So I think instead of diving everything in here, keeping some pressure here with some siege on the buildings and hitting the TC area would maybe stop Viper from expanding a bit. Something like that. I mean, look at that KD, right? The KD was good for Code. But Viper somehow held on, and then there was a period in time where Code didn't have any counter to pikemen because he didn't have gold. And then it was actually quite even with the eco, and Viper slowly crept back into it. It's really weird. I feel like if that exact situation happens in another matchup, Code wins for sure. But because it's a meta where you're going camel heavy, and then Viper had res for only pikemen, it worked out, you know? Like if that was a Frank's war, for example, the game's over. Because Frank Paladins would do so much better against the Halbs than these camels did versus the pikes. That's crazy. That's crazy. So anyways, all is not lost for Code. You probably saw there, Viper said good luck next round. Or sorry, Code said good luck next. And Viper said you too, so it's not over for Code. Code will play the winner of another set of games, and I'll show you the bracket here in a sec, but first look at the achievements. Viper, in most of the games, macroed better with food and wood eco. And Code had the gold from the sensor, but it didn't end up mattering. And Viper also snagged the relics while he was almost dead. Like this right here! How does this happen? Have you ever seen a timeline like this?
T90 duck.
Look at that! That's crazy. One mouse cursor fits in Viper's eco. One mouse cursor. And then like 1, 2, 3, maybe 3.5 for his military. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10, 12. That is a ridiculous timeline. Wow. All right, so I'm going to stay on and continue to cast games, so you guys don't have to worry about me going anywhere. But I do want to give you guys an idea of what to expect more with the deathmatch event. I'll put this in the YouTube video as well. But YouTube, I don't know what my upload schedule is going to be. I never do for YouTube. So keep in mind that you can always stop by the Twitch channel and watch the VOD. It's free and it's always there if I don't upload it. All right, so just shift things around here. Here we go. So Viper moves on to the grand finals, which will be tomorrow at 18 GMT. And since that was Code's first loss in the whole tournament, he goes down to face the winner of Leash and True. Leash and True play later on today, actually, and I'll be casting that. So that's in an hour and a half. And then the set between Code and whoever wins this will be tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST, 14 GMT. So potentially, I mean, whoever wins this is going to have to play a Rusted Viper afterwards.